more professional, but so okay, let me see if this will work, and then if it repeats, are we live? Okay, yeah, I think we're live. I'm trying to do my intro.
We're not live yet. Now we're live. Aloha. Oops. Oh, now I can't hear you. Okay, who in the chat can hear me or Rob?
Oh, there we go. I'm good now. I was muted. I don't know why it does it. Every time I play my intro, it mutes me for like 5 seconds. I hate that. Like but welcome everybody. Thank you for everybody for joining us today. I have another amazing show for you guys. I have with me my good friend. I have with me Pink Bell Aloha. You guys know her. She's she's a Pink Bell Aloha therapy certified quantum light body practitioner, certified Reiki master, teacher and practitioner, certified crystal and 12 chakra instructor practitioner, life and personal empowerment coach, ascension multi-dimensional guide, wayshower, twin flames, divine unions, starseeds, soul missions, abundance, AKASHIC record readings, VIP mentorship, and empowerment coach. So with all that said, I'd like to give her a big warm welcome and Happy New Year. Thanks for coming on, Pink Bella. How are you today?
I'm great. Aloha, everyone. Happy New Year, Rob. Welcome. So grateful to be here. It's going to be super awesome today. I can feel it.
I still got my Christmas cup up. This is it says hanging with my gnomies, and it's gnomes on it.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I've been using this every day. I got it as a gift for Christmas. So I mean, I don't celebrate Christmas, but my family does. So it's like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, no, I love it because the message I got this morning was, remember I was talking November and December, but that we really need to tap into our joy, whatever that is, right? So your mug is giving you joy. That's what I heard today was the other team is working very, very hard, Team D, taking away our joy right now.
Yeah, and it seems like they're trying to test us on all levels. Like we're being tested on multiple levels. Like whether it's through targeting or aliens at the mall, or it's a lot of stuff that seems to be coming through. You know.
Yeah, I got that there was so I did a little write up on the holidays. I actually had to withdraw from a lot of things during the holidays because my voice had no power behind it. I just felt so depleted. So I just I did more writing, and what I got was we kind of got a little bit of a pause through the holidays, but not like we're always working. So as Starseeds light workers, we're working 24/7. Even if we take days off, we're out doing grid work or we're doing stuff in our dream time, or so what I got was there was kind of a pause. So we all could do like our shadow work and get some rest. And a lot of us had one of the themes that's been coming in with clients has been dreams. A lot of Starseeds and Lightworkers had really intense dreams from the solstice through like New Year's Day. And many of the themes were around people from our past. Or if we didn't know anybody in the dreams, then we were out. Those were part of our initiations. We were out on assignment and they were giving us information about what we were doing. So
it's interesting.
Yeah. Did you have any dreams through that time period?
I always have a dream I'm getting chased for some reason. I don't know what that means, if that has any significance.
Yes, it does, because I had some of those as well. Early December, and I was actually I was actually helping other starseeds and light workers get to a safe house. So I do so we're in a multidimensional reality. We have multiple things going on, and I feel like that's why there's so many different perspectives and different even accounts about what happened in Miami, because where everybody is in a different reality and they're experiencing and seeing what they know. So that's why we kind of have all these weird little puzzles. But I was surprised too, like when I was being chased and I was helping other starseeds get to a safe house, we had to go on foot. We weren't able to use any technology. We were told to turn our phones off and not even get into any cars because all the cars and the phones had tracking devices. So that was interesting.
That sounds about right too,
Doesn't it? I think the technology, like all the AI stuff, has been ramped up. Like they think all the applications have been upgraded, and I think all of our phones and all of our apps now have AI components.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting so many messages since I put out a couple of videos with targeted individuals. I'm getting so many emails from people now that want to come on my show that say they're targeted as well. So like people that are getting hit with like V2K and like other mind control manipulative stuff, like and it seems like it's a big thing. You know what I mean? It's a big thing, the targeted community. I never thought it was really, but I mean, I feel targeted myself. I think we're all targeted to a certain degree.
Yeah.
We're like starseeds and light workers.
Oh yeah, like that. I was sharing with another starseed the other day. When I first was told that I was a starseed, I felt completely exposed and vulnerable. And that was way back in 1997. Like I felt like everybody suddenly knew that I was a starseed because we carry a different frequency, and probably some of that was true. So that's why I start last year and the year before I started doing the JSEALS and the SEALs and the releasing sessions, because I was being targeted. And as sovereign beings, we don't want to be targeted anymore. So I just started asking a lot of questions. And it's super interesting. Right now, we're aligned with the Orion system. And I made a post the other day, and it's actually called The Hunter, the Orion system, The Hunter. Whoa. And then the other clearing I did over the holidays, which I now have added to the JSEAL session and also the AI clearing session, is cyborg implants. Some of us either have like residue memories and cyborg like Borg implants, like 7 of 9 on Star Trek Voyager, right? So some of us have memories of that, of robotic hybrids, which is what they're trying to practice down here on Earth as well. We have memories of that, and I felt like this incredible pain on my left hand side, and I was like, "What is that?" Like I've cleared everything. They're like, "No, now you're clearing the Orion cyborg experiments." So you heard it here for folks.
So do you think they're using a part of your consciousness and other people's consciousness to make cyborgs? Is that what it is?
Okay, so I feel like we're multidimensional. I brought this in yesterday. We are what we're clearing right now, and I'll get into the collective reading in a minute. We're clearing like these. Some of us have done all our clearing on Earth. Like we've done all, like, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of us have. And so now we're clearing galactic and intergalactic traumas. So, and some of it's connected to Earth, right? So I think you probably have a guest on the program where people have been recycled, like they haven't been able to get out of this loop, and they've gone through either the moon or Saturn, and they've been trapped in the Orion system. So the Orion system, Galactic Wars, was the piece of that was the original Star Wars. So this was what I shared with my tribe yesterday. We're all the Rebel Alliance. That's who we are. And many of us escaped the Orion system to be here, to be the boots on the ground, to remember. So they just said to me, all that light that came in, we all had that, like we had those crazy solar flares the last week. We had one of the biggest solar flares ever. And that's when everything got exposed. That's when I started to feel really weird. And I was like, what is that? And they're like, oh, you're remembering, you've got this like cellular memory of robotic hybrid experimentation that happened when you were trapped in the Orion system. So I'm just putting that out there because there might be some souls, or there might be some souls that are under target right now that also have that connection. And we're aligned with the Orion system right now, so we're clearing it to get stronger. So in other words, the Empire is real. We're starting to see more and more of the galactic battles in process, and we are all the Rebel Alliance, and that should make us all super happy, because then we're going to start. This year is going to be huge. 2024 is going to be huge, and it's going to be an alignment for us all to come together and start working together.
It's weird you say that. Like even years are better for me than odd years, because I was born on a year like my birthday is tomorrow. By the way, I'll be 44.
Happy birthday for tomorrow! That's awesome.
Yeah, so I was born in 1980, and then it seems like even years are better than me than odd years. So in 1990 I was 10, in 2000 I was 20, in 2010 I was 30, in 2020 I was 40. So it's always like on par with like you know what I mean? It's easy for me to figure out my age. But then what I was going to say was, like, it seems like even years, like years that end on a 2 or 4 or 6 or 8, are better for me than ones that are like a 3, a 5, a 7, a 9. I don't know if that has something to do with my chart. Or if it's just something superstitious that I think,
No, probably. I started to notice over my lifetime that every 7 years I would have just a crazy year. where a whole bunch of stuff would fall away or I would go through a lot of stuff. And that was connected to the 7-year cycle. So we do go through cycles. I want to share with everyone because 2024, we're moved into an energy of an 8 this year. So last year was a 7, which is about spiritual, in numerology is about spiritual expansion and growth and, you know, remembering, and it's not always pleasant. Most of us want to hibernate. We're expanding spiritually. We don't want to be public. And this year's 8 is a very powerful year. It is about abundance and being in our power and being able to be supported. And that's why I'm super excited that it's the year of the dragon and the Chinese energy, which doesn't officially start till February 10th, because the dragons really started to work with me super strongly last September. Because they're going to be our allies for everybody who wants to work with them, like to start kicking some butt. So that's good.
Yeah, so it's actually the year of the dragon. That's interesting because I think more of them are starting to come into our consciousness, like, you know.
So the last time there was a year of the dragon was 2012. And that's when a lot of starseeds and light workers woke up, including myself. I really started to get back into what I was supposed to be doing in 2012.
Wow. And that was like the year end of the Mayan calendar.
Yes.
You know? Which
no coincidence.
They said that was going to be, you know, like the mainstream thought that there was going to be like the end of the world, but really what it was supposed to be like an awakening. The Mayans thought that it would be an awakening of humanity, like there would be like a new evolution of consciousness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what the big misinterpretation was about 2012. So I think it's interesting that you say that you had that happen in 2012, and I'm guessing I'm betting a lot of other people did too. You know, or soon after. It was like the mass awakening started.
In 2012, I got removed from corporate for the last time, but I was in denial for like 2 years. I didn't think that was possible, but I didn't understand. You know, if I look back in 2012, the teachers that were very prominent at that time were Dolores Cannon.
Yeah.
The other Japanese fellow that I can't remember his name, that did the water, like started to figure out that there was sacred geometry in the water if you did affirmations in the water. Emoto. Yeah. So he was big then too. And there were most of the people that were doing YouTube videos back in 2012 were already talking about what we're talking about now. And they're not doing YouTube videos anymore. Like they all got burnt out. So
wow.
Yeah. So I think this is like, I knew as soon as I heard it was the year of the dragon, I was like dancing around, but I think it's going to be a very powerful year for all of us. Super powerful.
I feel that too. I think it's going to be a good year. I really do. I don't know what it is. I don't know if we'll get disclosure this year. You know, it's almost like we already have it, you know, for all those of us that are in the community and that we know, you know, we know people have been being abducted for years and there's contactees on the other end that, you know, and then people are having all kinds of paranormal experiences, and then there's MyLab abductions, and then there's people being used in the secret space program and targeted individuals. So it's like, do we really need disclosure from the government? I mean, it would be nice to have, but still, you know, from what I had last night, I had a guy on my show last night. He was saying it's all about the tech. Like if that tech gets released, it could change the world. You know, I think we lose sight of that because the government doesn't want to come off anything. They have the tech. They don't want to come off it. And it would literally crush like the oil and gas industry. Well, you know what I mean?
I'm almost thinking too that we need to have proper officials leading our countries before there can actually be a full embracement of what we all know to be public, right? So I don't feel that is represented in Canada yet. I know you all in the US don't feel like that's represented where you are yet. So that's why you and I are doing what we're doing. But I will say that all starseeds and light workers, like everyone's being called up to do something this year. Even if it's just being kind and paying it forward to other individuals, like your neighbors or something like that, because we don't know, nobody has the exact plan of what's going to unfold this year. But I feel like so we basically had a pause in the game until like January 1st. And then it's like somebody went unpause and everything just started accelerating. So we've had like, you know, more experiences. I don't know about you, Rob, but I feel like my consciousness has super expanded in the last 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. I feel the same way. Yeah. You know, it's I guess that's what I was thinking about. Like it's like I wonder what else is going to come up this year. Like it's going to be a big. I think you're right though. Going back to what you said, like. Maybe we'll see a lot of change this year, you know, like, I mean, I think with every year we're gaining, what's the word I'm looking for? We're gaining momentum,
We are. So I think like one of the first steps, maybe we'll talk about it on the next show, is when will there be a proper transition to government officials that we know will represent us,
I
right?
don't think that's ever,
Well,
I
maybe
really don't.
there's going to be other, maybe that will slowly be disbanded, and there'll be other there'll be alliances instead. So I've been told that I've been working with like an Earth Alliance. I've been working with Guardians of the Galaxy, with all different representations from the benevolent races. But I still go to Prime Source every morning and ask who I'm supposed to be working with, because there was so much trickery during the Mercury retrograde. That was part of our initiations. Everyone either was not well, like a lot of people got forced to sleep because they were physically not well. Some of it was ascension related. Some of it was just a lot of people around us were not well through the holidays. Like, I don't know if there was more stuff they sent out in the air, if a lot of people got boosters, I'm not too sure. But then the other thing is like technology was glitchy. Everybody was really fatigued and tired anyway, irritable. And there was a lot of initiation and training. So from my perspective, I had dreams like Rob, but then I also had dreams of people from my past that I wasn't going to see. So I did some releasing around them. And then I also had training initiations where I was out there with other starseeds and light workers doing things. It was super interesting. Yeah. So we all, and then the solar flares, like that 5.01, that big wave of light that came in. If you all have pets, my pet was sick 2 days before it even hit. So our pets are so tuned in to the waves of light that are coming in now through our sun, even if it's raining, it doesn't matter, that a lot of them will get sick. I was getting reports from other clients as well. So we're embodying a lot of consciousness. We're embodying a lot of new instruction codes. And that's why we have to sleep. And that's often why we're not feeling great. But I'll tell you, until today, I've been like spacey and dizzy and not disoriented. Like I'll wake up and go, I have no idea what day it is. Like that's why I guess why we have phones. So it's been integrating, we're incorporating a lot right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
It seems so. It seems so. You wanted to talk about the list. What do you think about that?
Do you want me to do, like, why don't I do the collective reading first? Just
yeah, that'd be great.
And then we'll do okay. So this is for all of us. I just asked for the best messages for all of us for now, for the year of the dragon, until I come back. And I also pulled some dragons as well to bring in the dragon energy too, just to see what wants to come in. So the first card we got was the Heart of Source. So that was a big message for me is, yeah, they're trying to, Team D. And the reason I don't say their names very often is because I don't want to invoke them. Their names have dark magic around them. And they're all the dark ETs. They're all the, demons, everything running around down here, like all the different options. So that's what when I say Team D, that's what I mean. So they're right now working very, very hard to take away our joy, which is what we were just talking about. So we're just to stay in our joy, and our heart chakra is our connection to source. It is our superpower. Okay. The dragon that came in with that card is super interesting. The lilac fire dragon. So this is like a softer version of the violet flame dragon, and it's for transmutation into the power of divine source love. So some of you might be interested to work with that dragon this month. The other really interesting thing is sources come in through this whole reading. So I just call source prime source, the quantum field, the energy beyond our universe and galaxy. That's a lot of souls believe it's beyond the galactic center, like through the galactic center, but it's the consciousness of light that brought us all here so that we could be on mission and help this evolution basically on the planet. So the next message we got is memories of Atlantis. So Atlantis, just even for me in the last few days, a lot of us are starting to remember the dark stuff in Atlantis. We're remembering that, and that would be Team D that hacked into those timelines. To take away our joy from that reality. And even sometimes if we go and tap into Atlantis, we're going to get dark stuff coming at us now because they're starting to wipe that as well. So it just says, and this is interesting because this is for us too. This is for Earth now: spiritual acceleration, progress, and technology. Right. So the AI and the tech and the robotic hybrid experimentation was the downfall at Atlantis. All right. So we're to be conscious, use our technology consciously, and not get absorbed in it so much that we're not like spending time, quiet time, spending reflective time, spending joyful time with friends and family, you know. The golden solar dragon came in with that message. So this is a dragon that helps you stand in your power with wisdom. Okay. Then we're definitely, I'll just do these actually both together because we got an Akashic record healing and clearing. So when we get triggers, whether we're doing shadow work or whether we know, oh, I don't want to deal with Atlantis anymore because now I realize what's going on over there. So we can do an Akashic clearing around that. And this clears old stories to release past lives and gives us freedom. Okay. And then we also got the soul star activation. So that's the chakra we have 7. And then the 8th is the soul star. That's right above our head. That's when we start really consciously expanding, we open up our 8th chakra. That's a soul star. It's called the soul star. And it's also connected to our personal Akashic records. Okay. So right now we're all fulfilling soul contracts and we're remembering who we are. And the dragons that came in for both of those cards, one is the alpha dragon, which is a black dragon. I love it. It's got a little feather. It's got a little feather there. So we're going to need, like, it's connected to harnessing the divine masculine power of creation. But the we all have divine masculine, divine feminine. So divine feminine is receiving, divine masculine is doing. So this is going to be a year of doing. And this is going to be a year of, like, we don't even have time to be in fear. We got to clear that right away and move along. So this dragon can help you with that. The black dragon of called the alpha dragon, and then also the golden Christed dragon came in, and this is to help you align with the divine source light that's coming in. Some call it divine feminine Christ light, just divine Christ light. So that just helps you embody. That's going to help. This dragon's going to help you with any of the energy waves coming in.
That's fascinating. When did you get that dragon deck? Is that new? Is that a new one?
No, that was 2017.
Wow.
they started like it was so like you were just talking about, 2017 was such an intense year for me. I was being tracked and I didn't understand why yet. And that the dragons, my higher self said, you need to start working with the dragons. So this dragon deck is from Diana Cooper. That's where the dragon deck's from. So when if we do readings later, I will pull a dragon card for everybody today as well.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. So they're going to be like our watchdogs. They're going to be our watchdogs helping us. Okay. You wanted to talk about the list, and yeah. So, well, what I wanted to share about the list, which is interesting because there's going to be another part of the list, and we're talking about I'm just going to say E-List. I don't even want to say his name either. It happened the same day as the event in Miami, as far as I know.
Wow. So wait, do you think, wait a minute, I just thought about this. Like, I didn't put this together. Do you think they pulled the event in Miami to cover up the list?
Well, I think both of them could be a distraction. Like, people are going to be focused on the list and other people are going to be focused on Miami. But one thing I want to share with you about Miami, the reason you weren't able to find anything is the internet got wiped.
I know. Well, I don't know if you saw my show with James Rink and Laura.
I watched a little bit of it. I said I wasn't going to, but I really wanted to hear what they all had to say.
James had someone from his show remote view it, and she said it was like supposedly like test people with fear. But then we went over it, and from the reports, it sounded like the aliens were glitching almost a little bit. So it makes me think they were some kind of hologram, or it was like, I just watched a video today of some guy. He showed a portal opening up, and I don't know if it was real, but if a portal opened up, then they could have walked through a portal. But then we have to ask ourselves, well, why are portals starting to open up? Like, is that because the veil's thinning? Like, so there's so many different things it could be, and I don't want to stick to one thing because I have no clue. You know what I mean? I'd like to keep my mind open, but it would be cool, I think, if things started coming into our reality, but as long as it was like good stuff, like, for example, like those aliens, they didn't want to hurt anybody. They kind of were like looking, from the reports I heard, they were kind of like looking around, like they were confused. I heard, like they didn't realize they were there, so I don't know. It's strange. Like, also, I just thought of this too. It could have been someone summoning them. Like, someone might have used magic. Like, and because our manifestation powers are up now, and if somebody or a group was able to manifest those into reality, that's something to worry about, because then what else they can do if somebody was able to do that, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of different things. I don't know, it's interesting though, for sure.
Okay, yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just share some of the research I did, and then we can pull some cards based on however you want to go with this. So I started putting two and two together. Like, I thought, okay, so it happened the same day as the first part of the list, and the information was released, and I believe another part's coming on the 22nd. So I thought, well, he had a house there. And so how far away is where his house is to Miami? Not very far, like an hour.
Wow.
Right. So there's that. And the house has been it's been demolished now or whatever. So there's that. The other thing that I started wondering about is, because one of my grid assignments right now is the shopping mall. And I know that there's stuff underneath the shopping mall. I personally believe any big shopping malls have been placed there purposely, and that there's tunnel access under the shopping malls. So
and especially somewhere big like Miami like that.
Yeah. So this is some questions that I'll show the cards that I shared. So it was the same day as the list. So I thought that's interesting. So some people would have been distracted with the list. Others would have been distracted about the Miami Mall and the aliens. But the thing is that a lot of us didn't even hear about it for a few days. So this is the super interesting thing. It mainly got wiped on the internet. So if it was blue beam, or if it was a test that they wanted to get out there, well, they apparently didn't want it out there because it's been wiped. And there's no footage. There's very little footage, and whatever footage there is vanishing super quickly, which is why I watched what I could, and then I took notes.
That makes me think that something really happened, because if we aren't able to see the body cam footage from any of those officers that were there, and they mobilized like 100 officers, like I said on my podcast, I said it looked like something like Ghostbusters, they had like the whole town was mobilized, and then I just saw this creature like walking around. It was insane. To think about it now, it was like really.
So somebody brought up a good point. It's not like the police all just sort of showed up in little stages. They all came together.
Yeah.
So to me, that was like something it's like somebody opened up a playbook and said, this is going down, and these are all the steps that we have to take. So 100 police cars showed up at once. Apparently the power got cut, and it got cut to 70,000 customers within the area. There was no flyovers. The mall. Well, there's two different stories. Some stories are there were no flights whatsoever for a couple of hours out of Miami International Airport, and others are saying that there were no flights, no flight paths over the shopping mall, but there also were black military helicopters. So there was that. Yeah. And then there's also been reports of the reason we're not receiving a lot of information is because the men in black have been involved, and that's why everything's been wiped, including apparently, I just went, oh yeah, that makes sense. So the men in black are real. And I don't know if you had anyone talk about this on your show, and they do wipe people's memory.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't had many. Well, yeah, I have had people cover it. I mean, I've had them show up for different people at different times, like different experiencers. But they're definitely real. I would definitely say that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's I don't know what they are. An alien?
No, sorry. Go ahead.
I said I don't know if they're an alien or if they're like government or a mix between government and aliens, but they're definitely something. It's
I agree.
For sure.
So I've saved all the Men in Black movies, and I go back and watch them because I thought these were downloads again, they were their information to be given to us, right? So yeah, so I think there were a whole bunch of things. I'll show the cards that I pulled, and then you can ask me different questions. We can look at it. I believe it was a multiple scenario. So the fact that they went through this exercise with the police, and I think there were a couple things, and I too listened to another remote viewer. I don't know if you know her, Elizabeth April. She did a really good video yesterday about it too, when she remote viewed, and some of what she said resonated too. So I feel like it's a whole bunch of pieces. So I feel like what happened, and I liked what she shared because that made sense to me too. And I feel like it was planned, but it wasn't, right? So what she shared was that the ETs are always amongst us. They're always walking around amongst us, and we don't see them because we have been trained not to see anything. And the veils are getting thinner and thinner now because of that huge solar wave that came in. the veils are thinner. So I did pull cards about whether it was a hoax and whether there were teenagers there, and I got nothing. I got no, like it had nothing to do with that at all. That was just the cover story. So I think we all know by now, any cover story for mainstream is not going to be the real story.
Yeah.
And I always like you, I go, okay, if stuff's getting wiped off the internet, then they don't want us to know about it.
Yeah, I think that's what the biggest tell is for this. You know what I mean? The fact that they're wiping stuff and nobody's sharing anything. And then I've heard stuff. I saw TikTok reports where, you know, a police father was telling his son not to share any information on it. You know, like I saw a bunch of those videos. You know, like, but then I saw one video of a guy. He was like really disturbed by it. He was like, we know what we saw that day. Like, he's like, we're not going to call it aliens, but it was something. He said he saw it form, and him and his family just took off running. He said they had like his little nephew there. He was like, you know, he had his little nephew, like he's holding his hand, and then they look over his nephew. He had him over his shoulder, and his nephew pointed and said something like, you know, he's a little baby. Because it says blankie when it's alarmed. So it said, but the baby said blankie, and it pointed and it made him turn around. And when he turned around, he saw these aliens. And he said in the video, he's like, I don't want to call them aliens. He's like, he said, we saw something. He's like, why didn't we get any footage of it? He said, we all got scared and we ran. So that was one of the reports I saw too. James Bartley sent me that one. It was another one from TikTok. So
yeah, I saw that too. I saw that too when I was doing my research, which is good. Thank goodness for TikTok, right? That there were some videos that were put out there. So, but you know, my suspicion was like their part of the exercise was they shut down the flights, and they had the military helicopters and everyone there because it was part of this something extraterrestrial. Think about Ghostbusters. Something extraterrestrial related was reported, and they had to open up the playbook and go through an exercise about what was happening, right? So I personally, so I asked a bunch of questions for the cards, and then we can get into your pieces. I didn't get that it was Operation Bluebeam because it seemed so amateur-like. Like there's better holographic expressions at fireworks now. So I thought if they were really going to do something like that, it would be huge, and they probably would have activated it like at a number of shopping malls on the same day, something like that, right? So, so what I asked. This is super interesting. I asked that it was apparently, so the benevolent ET, the Earth Alliance that is watching over us, they were aware of what was unfolding because it's multidimensional. So you and I, it takes us a while like to do research and find things and, you know, whatever, but they all were watching like screens. They were all watching everything unfold. So apparently it was a test on many levels. It was to see, and it wasn't intentionally done. It was to see whether people there could see, but the aliens didn't know that. Like they didn't know that they were being seen. So they were just hanging out. So the first card I got for it is like Two of Swords, where that woman's blindfolded. Like, what can people see? Okay. And then I got the Star card, which is the Star Councils. They were very aware of everything that unfolded. Now, what's interesting is then we got the Tower card, which was it cleared out the mall. Look at these people jumping out of the tower. Like everybody was out of the mall in like 2 seconds. Like a few people got panicked and started screaming. Everybody ran. Nobody even knew what was going on. They all just ran, right? So it cleared it out. But I want to tell you what they shared with me was we got some great cards. 4 of Wands celebration. So it looked like it wasn't successful for us. It looked like it scared like humanity. Yeah, but those are just regular folks. They don't know what we know yet, right? So that was the things. But what the Star Councils were letting me know is we're doing a lot better than we think because a lot of souls wanted to investigate that afterwards, right? There's more people that are awake now wanting to investigate. And the reason those souls were scared in the mall because they saw things that they didn't know what it was. Like, oh yeah, we see that in the movies, but not real life, right? Then we got the 10 of Cups, which is one of the best cards too, which is celebration. So we're actually on many levels, it was in a way, like I feel like it happened accidentally, but the Star Councils knew about it. And in a way, it was a test to see where we're all at.
Yeah, because, you know, it seems like it could be that, like an awakening exercise, because I guess the big thing to take away from it is nobody got hurt, right? As far as we know. There were no casualties. There were no, besides the kids fighting. I heard there were kids fighting, and I don't know what that was about. But I mean, like.
Where's the footage of that? There's no footage.
Yeah.
You know how kids are with their cell phones? They're always showing off and they're always posting everything. There's nothing.
Yeah, I know it's strange. It's a bit. So it could have been an awakening exercise. That makes sense. And then, but
Yeah.
then it's not like what's weird about it is we're getting like this was a. I said this also on my show. Like this was a interesting year because we had the aliens in Las Vegas. I mean, a lot. There's been a lot of high alien themed things this year. There was the aliens in Vegas that supposedly landed in that guy's backyard. Then we had the aliens in Peru. Those were like the face peelers. Those were like the bad aliens, and now we have the aliens at the mall. So
Yeah.
it's like, what is going on? It's insane.
I know, but I'm laughing. It's going to be a movie. January 1st, 2024, Aliens at the Mall. Like, it's just hilarious. Like, I think it's hilarious now, right?
Yeah, and it was called Bayside Mall too, like Saved by the Bell. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. That's
which
right.
I know was funny. Like, Journey to Truth has a video coming out tomorrow on my birthday, and they used a picture from Saved by the Bell as their thumbnail. You know what I mean? So I was like, and it's called Aliens at the Mall. So I'm kind of excited to see what they have to come out with too. You know what I mean? Like they always have good content. So that should be good.
I can't wait to see that. So what I'm everybody be on high alert now, right?
Yeah.
So I resonated with Elizabeth April's remote viewing of we have them around us all the time. We do.
Yeah.
Right? I have seen some, but I've seen very high frequency Andromedans actually. My family showed themselves to me, but I was super high vibe that day and I was in a forest. And they just said, turn around, and 3 green emerald beings, like the images of them, you know, like when people transport on Star Trek, that's what they look like. They look like just the outlines. So that made me really happy, but that's rare. That's rare to see that, right? So then I'm thinking, well, if let's say they were grays, the grays are not as high vibrational as like the Andromedan frequency. So they might be some of the first ones that we're going to see. Well, we all know there's reptilians here. They're shapeshifters. And that's what was coming in October. We got to be prepared that, you know, pay attention. Really pay attention when you're out there doing stuff because we're going to start seeing stuff. And the more of us that see it, that share it, that are kind of cool about it, then it will unfold more positively about that. But we are coming along because if we think about it, 2012 was a long time ago. A lot of us thought we were going to be going home. A lot of us thought we were going to be going home, and we're still here because, and I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if I shared this, but a million years ago when I was at the pyramids, I literally said, why can't you just land the ships? That would create peace in the Middle East, and that would be amazing. And I got this huge, powerful, like loud voice saying, we can't do that. There's too much fear on the planet.
Well, it's not just that, but kind of like our planet's hijacked too by like these human overlords that like, you know, which kind of ties into the list. Like it makes me wonder, like I've been always like anti-government. I mean, I feel like we have to have some government too, because like the population is kind of out of control, right? But like in our community, I know people would rather see not a lot of government because but what I was saying is I wonder if this list is going to dismantle the government or if it's just going to be more scandals and nothing's going to come of it. You know what I mean? But, you know, I'd like to see something new in place, like something more for the people, if that makes any sense. Something that follows the Constitution, but for the people, if that makes any sense, you know? Not this hijacked crazy shit that we see, like that we're dealing with, where we're all under some weird controlled narrative and they take our freedom away. And you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
No, I agree. And I think that we would probably have to do it in stages. Like whatever's running now everywhere is corrupt. But there could be another version of that would be, you know, maybe go back to like more localized, like more state organized or more provincial organized stuff here in Canada, where everyone, we don't, you know, most of it's red tape, right? Like most of it's stuff that like if we went through the list to say what's necessary and what isn't, probably like 90% of it could get removed.
Yeah.
So, right?
I agree.
We want people that are like, you know, if we went back to like localization, that all work together, but localization of like, you know, your state is different than another state and your resources are different than another state's resources, that kind of thing. So, so I think, and maybe, you know, maybe that's it with the list too. Maybe it's time now for a lot of that information to come out mainstream because we all know about it. We've known about it for years. But a lot of mainstream people, they don't want to know. They haven't wanted to know about it. They don't want to go look for that kind of stuff. So it might be more for them to wake them up. So I hope there's going to be a change too. I don't know. I'm not
Well,
sure.
I've talked about this a couple of times on my show too. I haven't talked with you about it yet. Is I watched Sound of Freedom, and that was really good. I think that's a big eye opener for a lot of people. You
It
know,
is. I haven't seen it, but I'm super ultra sensitive to all that information. Like during the first lockdown in 2020, I had to deep dive down into all of that stuff, and I didn't want to know about it, and it just broke my heart.
it's scary. It really is. I mean, like at the beginning of the movie, they show like children being taken off on camera, like right off the middle of the street by like these, I guess they're like cartels and whatever, these controlled crime organizations that just like sex traffic for money, and it's kind of sick to be able to do that to another human being. You know what I mean? It's like, it's really a sickness. Like, and then the people that pay to, indulge in that kind of behavior is even sicker. You know what I mean? That's a real problem, and we guys, like when we talk about the list and we talk about this kind of stuff, we got to watch what we say, because YouTube will take the video down. So it's kind of like we got to dance around our words, but you know what I mean?
Speaking in code. So,
yeah.
So Mr. E in his list, so he's not very far away from the mall. So let's say some of it was also connected to that. Maybe there's a tunnel entrance to some dumps nearby that they were cleaning out. And also, he was also connected to the land of magic where a lot of children go. And apparently that corporation also sent cruise ships to his island. So
wow.
we have a lot of stuff that's going to be unfolding and coming out this year. So I've already noticed that there were some shows that were on their streaming channel that have been removed and sent back to regular cable. So I'm thinking, I'm wondering if something's going to come to that corporation as well, and that's going to get dismantled, which makes me sad because it used to be a happy, joyful place. It used to be. So basically, what's happening for all of us this year, it's going to be a challenge to be in joy. Like, because we're so aware and we're so conscious of what's going on. And I think with even the year kicking off with the Miami Mall ETs, it's moving into the game's moving into another level of the game now. So it's not like we can rush off to, the tropical islands and pretend that nothing's going on. You might be there with reptilian shapeshifters. And apparently Mr. E was one of those.
Yeah. Did you see some of the people that were on there? Like Stephen Hawking was on there, and David Copperfield was on there. I was calling him David Copperfield. It's I was just like, I thought it was ridiculous. Like I was like, it's like, I was like, where are these people? I guess when you have fame and resources, like regular sex becomes like, boring. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Okay, so let's look at it this way. We got taken off this planet. The true humans we're just like being reinstated. So the reptilian game is all about that. They're all about that. So that means that everybody that's in Hollywood is connected to this, and it's huge. We all are like, oh yeah, it's the reptilians. They need to be taken off planet, but the regular folks have no idea. And just to briefly talk about twin flames. I don't even really talk about twin flames anymore. I talk about like divine unions or divine partnerships, because even that to me, I was told, was hijacked by the reptilians, because they want to keep everybody in these scenarios that just go around and around and around and create suffering for years. They really get off on suffering. They love that.
Yeah. And it's a loosh feed too. They're feeding off like our loosh. Like that's why I feel like that's why a lot of people are targeted to create fear. And then once they create fear, they get that loosh going. You know what I mean? And they can tap into our fear so many different ways. You know what I mean? Like they make us in fear about our living situation or our financial situation, or people that have kids. Like they make you in fear about your kids, like we were just talking about, or they make you in fear about what they're spraying in the air, or all this other stuff that we can't talk about. Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's a crazy world.
No, I haven't seen the documentary, but this is what I want to share about twin flames. There are twin flames. Okay, I'm not saying that they're not twin flames. I was involved in that for my experience for 8 years, and I helped a lot of twin flames. But towards the end, the person that was supposed to be my twin flame was shape-shifting. And I didn't get answers about that for years. But I realized, oh, what the answer I got was his lineage was more reptilian than human. And he didn't even understand that. And he might not ever understand it. Like there's going to be a whole bunch of people on this planet that will never want to look at what we're talking about. So I asked to be let out of the program because I was suffering, and I thought I don't want to be suffering anymore. But there are claims, there are unions, and I think for all of us, we just need to move into the higher frequency of divine union or divine partnership. It's a higher frequency. The words are a higher frequency, and it's not necessary to be stuck in a bad situation, no matter what we call it.
Yeah, I thought my ex-girlfriend was like my twin flame. I mean, everything was like lined up like perfectly. Like we had so many different synchronicities, and everything was like, it seemed like perfect. And then it fell apart. So it made me start to question, like twin flames. But then I just met someone new recently who I like a lot, and I think she could be the one. So it's like, it's so hard to, discern, like, especially.
So that's, I think, one falsehood about the twin flame story. There's not just one. We came in with a plan. If something falls apart, then there's going to be another option, because we are co-creating with the universe. And the other thing is that the illusion that twin flame connections are perfect. No, they are anything but perfect. They are usually very tumultuous. There's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of hurt and trauma, because the actual original twin flame template was just embodied trauma, because so many things have happened to those souls together over multiple lifetimes. And as soon as I found out the reptilians were involved, I'm like, okay, well, I'll help twins, but I'm not going to talk about them too much anymore. But I still help people who are on that path. I still help people in divine unions and partnerships. But that, when I started to realize, they hijack everything that we love, right? Like, even we talked about this in December, they hijack Christmas. They're the Grinch who stole Christmas.
Yeah, I agree. And that's real. That's a real thing. I really do agree. I think that's, like
the Grinch is probably a character, like an image of a reptilian.
Yeah, I love the Andromedans quote. He says here, I don't want to have twin flames. I'm an omni god. That's a good way to think about stuff.
And it started to get like a really cliquey community too, where, like, so I'm all about, like, they always would show me, the Arcturians came in and started showing me, like, org charts. For those of us who've been in the business world, we get stuck in a box and then we can't elevate to the next level. So we want to, like, loosely go, okay, so that twin flame program didn't work out. So I want to attract a divine partner. I want to attract a divine union. And you want, why not create it with another soul who's conscious and awake, and who we can grow together. Like, that sounds way better to me. So, yeah. Anyway, but I started to realize that the one that I was connected to was a shapeshifter, and I was like, whoa, right?
Was he shapeshifting in front of your eyes? Was it like glitchy, or what was it like?
Sometimes so he lived far away. So sometimes when I went to see him, and if I saw him a couple times when I was visiting, he looked different every time. Sometimes he had straight hair, sometimes he had curly hair. And I would ask, like, way back then, I would ask people, what's this all about? Nobody had an answer for me. So it was just recently I thought, oh, so his lineage is part of the shape-shifting lineage, and he's probably not even aware of it. Or it was a setup the whole time for me.
Well, one of the audience, Kriya Vine, says, I believe concept of soul twin flames is a trap, soulmate, all a trap, she believes. Do you think it could be a trap?
I think there's truth in everything. So I think that if we want to create a divine partnership and a divine union, we all know that we can attract and create that now. I think the soulmate was first, and then twin flame. I think that helps to awaken everyone's heart to find their ways. So it's not a wrong direction. I mean, obviously the twin flame community has just, like, exploded. But I just realized, I'm supposed to help starseeds. I'm supposed to help light workers get on mission and do their grid work and work with the dragons and that kind of thing. So I'm not to, like, just be trapped in this one little area. But yeah, it can be a trap. And I think the trap is believing that one person, maybe that's treating you horribly, is the one person, and you're just going to stick it out for 10 years, 20 years, whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And as soon as, now you all know, just ask, are the reptilians involved? And if you get a yes, then you just leave. Just exit the program and move into the next program.
I agree.
And sometimes
know?
too, Rob, like you and your ex may have just had a contract to clear out karma for a certain length of time, and then you both like change one or the other changed frequency and made a shift, and then it just doesn't work anymore. It's just like any kind of partnership. So you probably just you and her wrapped things up, and then
Yeah,
the universe has brought you someone else, which is fantastic.
I agree.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you want to ask, like, like everything we talked about Miami, was there one specific question you wanted to ask? And then I could pull some cards for us.
um, let me see. I was gonna say, see if somebody summoned the aliens. Like if that, I like that idea. Or like, you want to ask the question of the cards that and see what it comes up with?
Yeah. I'm gonna pull a couple of I'll use a couple of decks to see what comes in. So was there a group of individuals like black magic?
Like
Some
black magic opening a portal and summoning the aliens into reality. Because what worries me about that is if somebody was actually able to do that, then what else can they do? And with the veil thinning, I wouldn't put that past anybody right now. I think everybody's manifestation abilities are way up. And I think a lot more people are starting to use black magic. So that's kind of like my reasoning behind that.
No, it's a good question, because I never even thought about that. I'm going to use a couple of decks and then I'll talk about it because I want to see. I find like the tarot, when we get into some of this, doesn't really get into too much of the galactic stuff. So right now I'm not seeing any black magic cards. I've got 3 of Cups. I've got 2 Knights, Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. So right now what I'm seeing is there was no ill intention.
Okay.
Great about what happened, but I want to pull some other cards as well and see what comes in. Okay, so we got the central sun. So the central sun, oh my God, I'm getting my God bumps. My source bumps. The central sun is connected to the light activations we just went through with that solar flare.
Wow.
Right? So it's connected to regeneration, success, and abundance downloads. So right off the bat, that's what it's connected to. It's connected to being able to see individuals. But let's see what else wants to come in, because I've got like that Anunnaki card and all that kind of stuff. Karmic board clearing came in, which is, it says energetic clearing, rewriting our story and living our truth. So part of the exercise was to start sharing the truth with the rest of the folks that are not. So guess what? The regular folks who don't think they can see stuff now.
I know, right?
That's cool, right?
Yeah.
Great. And then we got the heart of source. So it was an unfolding, and it was a direction of like, so the downloads that we get through the central sun are like guidance, direction, and a change in the timelines. And like for soul missions, we get new steps and we don't even know it. We just sleep and we wake up and our consciousness is expanded and whatever. So right away, like it was a divinely orchestrated, it's just time. We're getting more help from the other side of the veil to help us all down here, which is good. So I just want to pull a more. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't even have to go any farther. I got the card that says a new earth.
Wow.
So it says it's happening. Keep holding the vision.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a great question. Thank you for that, because that's what I thought. You probably have another question that I don't know about. So no, it wasn't a group summoning black magic. It was a bunch of things. It was that divine orchestration of everything arrived at the right time. And I did resonate, like I said, with what Elizabeth April said, where they were just hanging out like they always are. They're hanging out with us all the time. And they had no idea, I don't think that they knew until after that they were being seen as well. They weren't cloaked. So
yeah, and I think it's so funny that it was Bayside Mall. It's just it seems like who could script this stuff? You know what I mean?
Was it part of a Simpsons show?
What's that?
Was it part of a Simpsons show?
I know, really, right? Someone's got to look into that. That would be or Family Guy or something.
Yeah, like if aliens showed up at a mall or something. So I've noticed just in the last week. So I don't watch cable, but I tape movies and then I watch them later. And I've seen 2 advertisements about aliens being spotted on Earth and them reacting to it.
Wow, that's that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, should we get to personal questions if we have time, or do we have time for one or two?
I have time. So yeah, I think if there's any readings, for sure.
This is just one so far. Well, I think a couple people asked at the beginning of the chat, but I can't get back. This one's from Sheba We Knew. She says, hello, any messages for me? And
okay. Sounds good. I'm gonna use 2 ducks. I'm gonna give you a dry.
Thank you for your donation, Sheba.
Yeah,
That's
thank
cool.
you, Sheba. Happy New Year. Let's see.
I'm just going through the chat. I'm seeing if I find anything else. Like,
yeah, please do. I would have thought there would have been at least some questions about the mall ETs.
yeah, do you guys have any questions about the mall ETs or anything like that? Like,
yeah. Okay, so Sheba, right now you're going through what I was just sharing. You're going through an energetic clearing to rewrite your story and to live your truth. You're also going through a high heart activation. So that will often, the high heart's in the middle of our chest, that will often feel like pressure. And that's allowing your 12 chakra system to come online. And that the 12 chakra system allows us to receive more downloaded information from our ET councils that we work with. Okay. And you also got something called the Shambhala initiations, which is you're to rest and recharge right now. You're not to push yourself this week, and to trust in the process that's unfolding. And I feel like that's with a lot of us right now. Everything's been really disoriented this year so far, right? So to me, even though I love New Year's Day, I always feel like the new year really doesn't start until February. So
it's depressing for me. Like, I get depressed, like, because like I said, like, my birthday's around. I get the birthday depression and I get the New Year's depression. So it's like a funky time for me. It's like, plus it's winter here because I'm in Pittsburgh.
yeah,
So it's kind of like, it's like I try to work out more because, like,
good.
I don't know.
No, working out or exercise is a great tool for star season light workers. That clears the energy of depression and just feeling down. But yeah, so what I want to share with you about your birthday, and everyone knows your birthday portal is super powerful for manifesting for the next
Is it really?
Yeah.
111. Is it's 111 or is that
Yeah, you're 111. That's so cool. So this year 111 is a new moon. It's a new moon in Capricorn. You are Capricorn. New moons are all about new beginnings. And then it's also the 111 portal. But yeah, this is a powerful any birthday. Our birthday is our assigned alignment with when we chose to come in. So it's like you can have a little review of your past year, decide what comes with you, what doesn't. You got to we all get a do-over today and tomorrow for what, like, okay, I don't think the new year started off fantastic for a lot of people. I think like New Year's Day, yay. And then it's been like, okay, now what's going on, right? We've all been in this big thing. So it's very powerful. So anyone who has a birthday coming up, powerful time. Oh, she's a Capricorn too. Sheba, you got the rose pink dragon. I just wanted to share that with you. And I work with the rose pink dragon when I do work with the divine goddess codes and the grid work. So it prepares your heart to connect with the higher facets of the cosmic heart. So you've got a beautiful rose pink dragon that wants to work with you right now.
That's awesome. I hope that resonates with you. Sheba, I wanted to put this question, or it's not a question, it's more of a comment. See what you think. Look at this. This one's from Kim McKenzie. She says, I thought the fact that if you put the latitude and longitude of the mall in reverse, you get Antarctica.
Ooh, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think like I said, I think that there's way more to it. Like I think like there's not just one piece like we've been sharing today. I think a whole bunch of things unfolded with that event. Do I think that the local authorities were informed about it happening beforehand? No. I just think that they pulled out their playbook and they just said, okay, ET contact, what do we do? Okay, 100 cars to the mall. Yeah. Shut down the flights, shut down the power, you know what I mean? And yeah, so I think that's, you're welcome.
Again, it looked like the end scene from Ghostbusters. If you watch my video with James and Laura, James showed a picture of the video of it, and you can just see all these cop cars, and you can see this being walking around on the sidewalk. Like he had it on video. Like, it was amazing. Like, you can actually see a being.
There would have been a whole bunch of people that were screaming leaving the mall, but where are all the other people that would have thought it was cool, that like to film everything, right? Or where's the security footage from inside the mall?
The body cams on the police. Every police officer has a body cam.
Exactly. Yeah. I would. Oh,
Someone.
if you
Oh,
have
sorry.
another
Go ahead.
question, if you have another question, good. But I was actually going to pull some cards for you for your birthday.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. But one more thing, somebody's told me that. Yeah, I think it was Drago in that podcast. He said that you can submit a Freedom of Information Request Act to get the footage on those body cams. But like he said, if that comes back and that comes back like no dice, then that means they're definitely hiding something. Which I would probably already say that's a guarantee. They're not going to let anybody get a Freedom of Information request on something that new. Most Freedom of Information requests are from old stuff. It seems like they let like people have UFO records from like the 50s and 60s and 80s. You know what I mean? They're not giving anything new. I don't know. That's just I don't unless they do, and I don't know about it. But.
Well, it could have been two things too. It could have been everybody ran and was just scared. But the other thing is it could have been like the energy frequency from the ETs made everybody's devices glitchy.
Yeah.
So think about some of the sci-fi movies. A ship comes over, a big ship. Think about the biggest white ship from Star Wars. So that comes over like the whole city, but it's cloaked, and all the power and everything just gets disabled. While that's on, everything shuts down. So maybe the authorities didn't even shut down the power. Maybe it was just from the frequency of these beings transporting in,
Yeah.
The other question I asked, which I didn't share about today, is I did ask if they were beings that kind of came up from the ground, if there was a hole underneath, and I got no.
So it was probably a portal.
Yeah. And or they were just hanging out. They were just walking around. And then they were seen, because I think I don't know the dates, but I think the solar flare came in. Like I remember New Year's Eve. I didn't come to your event because I had company in town, but I remember New Year's Eve feeling very wonky. Like I felt really out of sorts New Year's Eve, and I thought, oh, something big has just come in. So it could have been right around that 5.01.
I did feel weird too. Like I said, around that time, I felt really weird, and I think we were still going through Mercury retrograde, right? Or was it ending at that?
Yeah, it ended on the 1st, and Jupiter went direct on the 1st. And by the way, everyone, we got full steam ahead. The last planet that needs to go direct is Uranus, and that's at the end of this month on the 27th. Full steam, no planets retrograde until April. Oh, and just touching, we'll talk about it next time. We've got a huge solar eclipse that's going to be impacting your country again, which means a massive transformation. April 2024. I'll bring more data next time, but it's also going over Texas. So this is the third solar eclipse in a series of 3 that is going over Texas.
Is that normal, or is that like...
No, it's not. I'm starting to realize the solar eclipses are being divinely orchestrated too. Like there's an energy path, and it's transforming everything in its path. So, and just you and I talking, I thought, well, isn't that interesting that that's where JFK apparently left from, was Texas.
Yeah. We got one more question. I'll just go through this one real quick if we can. This is a good one. This is from Jamie, and thank you for your donation, Jamie. She says, angeling. This is the girl who sees dragons. She has like interactions with dragons. She says, can she help me with clarity on who was working with me now? I've been aboard a few ships for frequent a few visits with the Alpha Dragon, she says.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to pull a couple of cards for you. Yeah. Oh, by the way, many of us had dreams about being on the ships through Christmas and New Year's, but they made it look like something else. So,
oh my God, did you hear about my pedometer over Christmas? I went to bed one night with my phone in my pocket, and I woke up and my pedometer on my phone said that I went 150 million steps, like 6,000 miles per hour, and I went 60,000 miles. So
I love that. Oh my God, that's awesome. So
Priscilla thinks it's a sign that I was taken for sure.
Yeah, so that's proof that you were out. So everyone, think about, and we can talk more about this next time too. Think about setting intentions before you fall asleep. And if you're crashing really quickly, try and do it ahead of time, like hours before. Just say you're surrounded in light. You're going to a high frequency and timeline with your guides, your higher self, whatever, and ask to go to a higher frequency to meet your team to go on one of the ships. Okay, because otherwise we're just like taken and like tossed around, and we have a lot of weird stuff. But I'll tell you, my dream was I was on a Winnebago with Sam Malone from Cheers was driving it, and then this person comes in and changes the device. Like they took out one piece and stuck another one in, and then they left. And I woke up going, that wasn't a Winnebago. That was a transport ship. Like, it was hilarious. So, okay, let's get back to Angel Wings. So right away, okay, Angel Wings, you're going through a huge upgrade right now. Like, so the Arcturians came in. You two are working with the Arcturians right now, and they're my go-to team. I just finished trying to work with the Syrian team, and it didn't work really well for me. So I've gone back to the Arcturians. Arcturians are like dragons. They're our boots on the ground team. They seem to be able to have a frequency. We can't really see them, but they have a frequency where they understand all the technology. They understand everything that we're dealing with, and they can be there for us. So you got the Arcturians. Evolutionary downloads, recalling your power and future thinking. You also got, like, you might be going through some ascension symptoms right now because you got the skull card. So when we get the skull card, we often will have headaches or ear buzzing or teeth aches because our skull is actually expanding and we're clearing out old information and old neural pathways. It says clarity, divine healing, high vibrational energy. And then you also got the solar light upgrade, which basically says you're going through reclaiming your power and a solar plexus upgrade as well. But the Arcturians came in super strong. And I'm going to pull a couple of dragons for you and just see what other dragons want to work with you. You got, oh, I love this. You got a galactic dragon. I don't even need to pull any more. You got the white gold dragon from Lyra. Okay. I only have a couple galactic dragons in this deck. So it connects you to the highest Christ light. You're developing your new intuitive abilities and you're activating ninth dimensional chakra system as well. So I would say so we change all the time. That's why, and I think that she brings up a good point. Everything's hazy right now. Even though Mercury's gone direct, I find everything's hazy too. I find like in a way, we're all getting our memories wiped every night because I wake up going, what day is it? Oh, I don't know. Like, I don't have any direction today. Like, it just seems like that. And I feel like because we're still doing deep work. We do deep work in Mercury retrograde for 2 weeks afterwards. So I believe that will be finished around the 15th as well. So yeah, anyway, so you're working with the Golden Lyre Dragon, or you can work with it, and the Arcturian team of light.
Well, that's amazing. I hope that resonates with you, Jamie. That's I think it's an amazing reading. Well, I guess that's it for today. I got 3 other shows I have to do today. I don't know why I overschedule myself so much. I do. It's too much. I don't know.
Can I just pull a couple of cards for your birthday?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So let me just see. So these messages are for Rob for his 44. That's awesome. 44.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 44.
44 is a powerful numeral.
I'm expecting to get some grays this year. I'm not aliens. I mean gray hairs.
Oh, really? Okay. So you got, this is super cool. You got like such a starseed reading. So you two are going through a karmic board clearing. So that would be like a kind of a review, even tonight if you have energy, or tomorrow because it's your birthday. Just do a little review about my whole life up until now. I see the patterns. I see, what I didn't like about 2023, and I'm going to just let that go with love and light, and I'm starting fresh. So it's a brand new start, right? You also got the Sirius star blessings. So this is an amazing card to come forward. So this is the star that Christmas was based around. This would be been getting massive. So that solar flare that came in, the Sirius star teams, they're facilitating it through their sun and then to our sun. So isn't that interesting? Because you actually are very connected to the Syrian energy anyway. Because I think we talked about this before. So you got that. So you've got blessings. I love this is one of the best cards on the deck. Yes, proceed, be seen, push through. Syrian star.
That's blessings. Cool.
Yeah. And then you also got the star gathering. I love it. So stars are aligning and you're remembering home and you've got more soul family around you, which is true. Right?
Wow, that sounds about right.
1 dragon for you. And then I'll let you go because I want to see if there's a dragon energy that wants to work with you. You got the silver lunar dragon, which is good because I think the moon energy is tough on you, right? Like a lot of us, the moon energy is a little bit uncomfortable. Or are you okay with it?
No, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, do you really feel the moon energy, like the full moon and the new moons? Like, does it bother you?
Yeah, they bother me. Yeah. They do.
That's why this dragons come in to help you adjust to that. So this helps. The silver lunar dragon will help you come into balance and practice peace and harmony through the moons.
Wow.
I'll
That's
send you. I'll save the cards and I'll send you a little email with, or I'll message you with the cards.
yeah. We
Right.
got one. The Andromedan keeps asking. I think he's kind of threw me off. Like he's asking what his Andromedan body looks like. Can you? I don't know what he.
Oh,
You know.
okay. From what I saw, so I saw 3 images of emerald green beings. And this is a great question to end up on. So thank you, Andromeda, and Happy New Year. So think about when in Star Trek, when people materialize and dematerialize, that's transportation. What is it called? Transporting. So they showed me that. It's like I heard them and I was in a forest and I turned around and there were 3 of them that materialized in front of me and they were just this bright emerald green energy. And then they just telepathed with me and then they left. So the other thing I want to share with you, we're going to end on this note. The year of the dragon is the wood dragon. It's actually the emerald green dragon. So it's connected to the emerald green ray. So that's a really powerful ray for all of us to work with this year.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. So they're so Andromeda and they're so high dimensional. Like to me, it would look like if we didn't have these physical bodies, we would be these bodies of light. And that's what they showed me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell everybody where they can find you and how they can book a reading? And thank you so much. Like this was amazing.
This was fun today. Yeah, I really loved it. Okay, so I believe my links will be below. Email is the best way to get a hold of me. Thank you all of you for following me on social media. And I actually have another live on my channel today. The first time I've gone live on my channel for like 3 months. So if you all want to come over to YouTube later, we're going to get deeper into some other topics as well. So that would be great.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thank you everybody for tuning in. And I have another live too in like 45 minutes. So I'm going to go eat dinner and then I'll be back and then I'll see. And thank you, Pink Bell. I was always good. I always love doing shows with you. So this was awesome.